Good morning, traders. Happy Monday to everybody starting their work week. My name is Yaroslav Birchenko, and we're starting today's stream. We're going to be running a new weekly event on Mondays. It's called Mad Money Mondays. It's going to be a time where we as traders prepare for the coming week ahead. We discuss what happened over the course of the last week, what happened over the weekend, and what kind of economic factors will be in play in the coming week ahead. Like I said, my name is Yaroslav Birchenko. We're going to be starting today's stream. If you could all please, in chat, indicate that you can hear me okay, that you can see the picture fine. We have a chart of the S&P 500 up on the screen. Go ahead and give me a plus in chat, or even better, write what country you're from. Where are you watching the stream from? Whether you're in India, in Brazil, in London, it'll be a great opportunity for us to see what kind of audience we have today. All right. Now, before the start of the stream, let me tell you about how it's going to go. So, in the beginning, we'll have some question and answers. We'll do a little bit of technical tweaking that the stream is okay, and then we're going to get into the meat of the situation. I'll talk about fundamental issues. I'll show you some graphs. We'll talk about some action price points, and after which we will do some more question and answers where we can talk about asset classes that are interesting to you, our dear viewers. Happy Monday. Okay, I'm just having a look through. Messages here. All good. Hello, Prince Anyamachi. Prince P. Jacob. Good to hear from you guys. Amir, hello. Arun Kumar, hello to you as well. Blessings, blessings. Always good to have you with us. Emmanuel, I welcome you. From Nigeria, from Nairobi. Wow. We have an international team assembled, an international team of traders today. So, hello everybody. Let's get things rolling. I'm glad that we're all here today. Now, what is Mad Money Mondays? This is a place where, like I said, we traders get together, strategize, and we plan our weekly events. We talk about different approaches to the market and see how we can extract as much money as possible in the coming week ahead. Now, why are we doing trading? Have you guys ever thought about buying your home with cash? Or have you ever wanted to upgrade your sports car? Intraday trading is the one profession where the amount of time that you put in is optimal to the amount of money which you receive from this profession. So you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, and you can be a trader, and the amount of time it takes to learn the craft and the profit that you receive is very, very similar. Trading is a high risk but high reward profession for people who have a disciplined approach, who have very strong strategic analytical faculties, and also that discipline, that have elite discipline. And part of your discipline is showing up to webinars like this throughout the week, where you can get some coaching, where you can get opinions of other specialists, and where you can start to form your own strategies and approaches to the market. And some of that we will discuss together today. Now, what I wanted to start with is the S&P 500. This is a daily graph which we have ahead of us, and I wanted to direct your attention to Thursday, Friday's movement. So here we have Thursday's upwards movement, And this was all on the basis of the Wall Street Journal coming out with an article saying that Trump might roll back tariffs. This is one of the factors that we're going to talk about today, that trade wars and tariffs have had a negative connotation for the whole world stock market. It's a disbalance, it's a risk factor. But what happened, the way that the U.S. stock market took this event was very, very peculiar. So here we can zoom in. This was Thursday's movement, and in the second half of the day, actually, the Treasury Department of the United States came out and said that this is false. We are not planning on rolling back tariffs. This is a rumor started by a news agency, and look at the effect. The whole index rose more than 40 points. And the most interesting part is look what happened on Friday. The steam is picking up. The momentum is gaining. Now, Friday is a very tricky day where a lot of people close their positions. So at part, it could be the many people that closed, during this huge downward movement starting in October. But we have passed the shoulder line of the Head and Shoulders. Let me show you guys on the graph. So this whole area starting from here to here, that's our shoulder line. This is the strong area that needs to be beaten. We already passed that on the 14th of January. Now if we take a look at another zone of really strong resistance, that would be this here. Look at the effect of the gap. We gapped severely over that, and there was no retracement back to the line. So this is it's the most riskiest asset right now, the most riskiest asset, but also one that can provide very large movements. So today we're going to try to decipher that, and over the coming week we will watch it more closely and perhaps even make trades live like we are here today. I'm just going to double check in with you guys that everything is okay, that you guys can read me, can hear me. Perfect. If you guys have questions, write them down in chat or write them down on a piece of paper, and at the end of the webinar I will spend 10-15 minutes answering all of your questions related to trading. So please go ahead, write them in. In the meantime, let's continue with our economic analysis. Now, other key things to watch this week, will affect the markets. Because of the U.S. government shutdown, Trump will not be visiting the economic forum in Davos. It's starting on Tuesday this week. Very important event, lots of interesting commentaries and speeches that come out of this event. You can find a lot of it on Bloomberg. Also, I will be commenting throughout the event what kind of new news events and what kind of new information is coming from the top people in finance that are gathering at this event this week. Like I said, Trump won't be going because the government shutdown is on day 28. That is huge, and that's also a very huge risk factor for the United States in the sense that the U.S. is very, very close to getting its credit rating downgraded. Now, mostly that will affect bonds. Mostly that'll affect U.S. bonds, which are currently the 2-year has shown a breakthrough from its 2018 resistance point, but the 10-year is on a very strong downslope. Let's check the 10-year. These are 10-year yields, so this is the percentage that you will get from owning these government bonds, but kind of reminds the stock market in in the picture that it's drawing. And right now we're again at a very strong support line. The government shutdown is clearly a burden on the U.S. economy. Each week that the government is shut down, they lose about 0.15 of their yearly GDP. That's a pretty huge number when you look at it, globally. But on the positive side, we have earnings season in the United States. Netflix reported earnings on Thursday, and that was a huge movement down for them. They missed it by, we should have an earnings one here. They missed it by 22 cents, I believe, but the effect that it had was pretty negative. Dropped down, closed the gap that they had. Financial sectors also reported. The main growth driver for growth was financial equities. This week, though, we have some interesting tech stocks to watch. That's going to be IBM, Microsoft, Ford. These three companies are of interest to me, and they're going to be reporting earnings season. Ford particularly is interesting due to the trade war situation, because they're taking the brunt of a lot of the steel tariffs, also auto import tariffs. Mainly Japanese and European autos will be hit, and it's very interesting to see how Ford will be affected by all of this. And they're reporting this week, which is also very, very interesting. Let's have a look at some of the companies that will be reporting this week ahead. I just want you guys to be prepared to see what the technical picture is like and what it could look for us. So we are interested in any movement above $9, and we want it to solidify above 10. But as soon as it passes 9, that's when our interest will be peaked. That's when I will bring up this stock again in play, and we can go over some of the more fundamental aspects of the company. We will look at their earnings sheet, the cash flow statement. So we'll be going through their financial statements together later on. Netflix I already showed you. Ford. Let's check out IBM. Now, this company is in charge of the most elite artificial intelligence in the world right now, but they have not found a way to monetize that in the best way possible. So right now we're at yearly lows with this company. But I want you to know that they have a lot of specialists still that provide value, and they sell their consultant services and the artificial intelligence to other companies. So they outsource a lot of their own resources, which is very interesting. And let's check out Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is one of 5 companies in the world that have a AAA+ rating. That's a very rare rating in the current turmoil of the world financial system. And the graph, really, look at this. It looks like a martingale. Very, very smooth, very, very upward indicated. So we have a small correction. It would be really interesting to see how far this kind of correction will go. I just picked the point where I see the best impulse. So from here, there's from this point at the bottom, there's a very clear impulse. See how this was a zone of a flat. So from the very bottom here of this flat, we have a very strong impulse. So that is where we draw the Fibonacci from, for those wondering how we drew this Fibonacci. So we already reached a certain level. So my levels are a little bit off. I'll have to tweak them. This is a new account, so please bear with me on TradingView. So interesting, first target reached. I would also like to see Microsoft's earnings. I'd like to hear their forward guidance. Forward guidance basically is when the management of the company gives a webinar or a phone call to their top investors, and that information is public, and you can sit in on one of these investors meetings and get a sense or an idea of where the company will go, where management is guiding it, what kind of goals they set for the company. So very, very important information, and it's interesting as well. You know, you can either watch football at home or you can listen to earnings season guidance reports and central bank reports, basically status reports, as I like to call them. Also very, very interesting. Excuse me. Okay, and another theme that we have is general political risks. There's a lot of turmoil going on in the world, and things like the Italian central bank is thinking of lowering their own for the year, their not their guidance, there's another technical term for it. Basically, they're lowering their own country's rating for the year ahead. They're in the process of finalizing that. That's really gonna hit the euro hard. Let's have a look at the euro to pound, or sorry, euro dollar. So as we can see, we've been in a flat since 2015, despite all the money being pumped into the economy, despite a lot of growth that was witnessed within the European Union, despite Germany's, awesome results for the past 3-4 years. We can see that the currency has not strengthened. So to me, it's a certain level that traders keep hitting and that we push back from. I believe that we may have another fall, very similar to what we saw in 2014, end of 2014, if things continue to destabilize. Now, I would like you to also bear in mind that Germany is very close to teetering on the edge of recession. We're going to be following the economic data as it comes out together in these weekly webinars, but it looks like, let's have a look at the DAX. Yeah, it looks very downward trending. And actually this result, so here we'll drop down to the 4-hour graph. This result on the DAX is a follow of what happened with the US stock market. As soon as we had a little bit of optimism and a desire to grow again, the German DAX gave the best result out of any index for the world stock markets. So really one of the instruments that I want to watch. And let's have a look at the Olymtrade platform. First of all, here we have the stocks that we have. IBM, which is going to be reporting this week, very interesting. Microsoft. So great week to really learn these companies and trade them. So here we have the DAX as well, perfect. Due to increased volatility, DAX is given a little less on the outcome on the exit side. Perfect. So here's an index of the top 30 companies. One-day graph. So really interesting upward motion. I'd like to see it get over 11,500, and then we can see what kind of withdrawal pattern it shows and see how good it'll be on the upside. So other things to watch for this week, we're going to have the European Central Bank and the Bank of Japan make a monetary policy statement. on Tuesday. So this is a very interesting day for the Japanese yen. Yeah, this little tail is going to mess up my graphs for a long, long time. The flash crash that happened in January. And the European Union on Thursday will also be talking about their interest rate decision. So all in all, it's going to be a beautiful week for us to speculate on. I'll tell you right now, after we finish with the graphs, what you're looking forward to this week, and we're going to have some giveaways, some prizes, just to show our gratitude to our clients, to our students, and we want you to know that really we're here for your success. We want you to understand as much as you can in the markets, and then it's up to you to practice what we teach you. I want to talk a little bit about Brexit. There is a little bit of misunderstanding. Actually, there's a lot of misunderstanding going on in the markets, in the media about Brexit. So the first thing that you have to understand is that we deal with probabilities. The news agencies, they deal with emotions. We as traders and investors, we deal in probabilities. So the probability of a hard Brexit, which means no deal, is very, very low. The responsibility of both governments to make compromises and come to a unified solution is very, very high. So the probability that we're going to have another referendum is very low. I'm sure that some of you know last week Theresa May lived through a no confidence vote. Her government also won a no confidence vote. Now, what is a no confidence vote, you ask? Well, it's where the House of Commons gets to vote on whether or not the Prime Minister is doing a good job. She passed. And then the second vote was that, is the government doing a good job? Are they capable? Are they do they have the right resources, the right confidence of the people in them to do a good job? Now, if Theresa May would have lost that no confidence, she would have been booted. They would have been looking for another prime minister. Same thing with the government. There would have been a reshuffle within the government. So those two events were really huge risk additions last week in trading. But this week, we know that that is now off the table. So this gives us a little bit more calm, a little bit more perspective. And that's why I'm saying to you that the probability of Brexit going smoothly is very, very strong. And probably there will not be another referendum. Now, March 29th is the due date where the documents have to be signed. And this morning, I read in The Independent that most likely the government will not allow for extensions. So very huge pressure right now. But as we can see, even despite several very negative warnings in regards to the pound, we never dropped more than 24. 1 second. We can look at other drops and how much lower we've been. 124 seems to be a very solid, very strong resistance level. Support level. See how we dropped to 120 after the initial Brexit referendum came through over the course of several weeks. Here we don't drop below 124 levels. So any kind of fear with the structure of the system has passed away, and we're in a very choppy, very, very flat segmented area right now, but it's looking pretty bearish. To us, it looks very nicely bearish. Also, I want you to keep an eye on the French yellow vest populist movement. That kind of dissonance creates a strong atmosphere for more euro weakness. It looks like that to me. We're also in a very choppy flat area, but this one is pointed downwards, and all economic data, not all, excuse me, most economic data is signifying a start to a recessionary period, and we'll go through that in detail as these courses go on, because we will be going through a lot of our secrets and little, interesting things that we use in our trading to maximize profits. Like I said, Wednesday, Thursday, we have European Central Bank interest rate decisions. The European Central Bank just stopped monetary easing. So quantitative easing was stopped at the end of last year. The results from that have been mixed, as we can see on the graph. And Bank of Japan, they are the most dovish bank in the world. So not only do they have a negative interest rate, they also have very hands-off approach to corporate governance, and they're the most dovish bank in the world, meaning that they have a very calm monetary policy, very non-intrusive, non-aggressive. Growth figures in China. This is very interesting. Growth figures in China were the lowest since 2009, despite several reports indicating that the currency is very, very strong, despite the fact that certain governments, like the British government, came out and said that it is very possible that the Chinese yuan will be a reserve currency in the near future, and we are prepared for that. Interesting. So they have reserves of the yuan. But any news relating to China will affect a lot of the markets. I know Australia is very integrated in the Chinese economy. Japan is also very reliant on exports from China. And so when you pay attention to Chinese growth, think about it more as collective, and not just individual countries. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what you can expect, because this is the first webinar in a whole series of webinars that work towards turning ordinary people into profitable traders. More so, I would like to share on my part some of the elite skills that I have picked up working in different brokerage companies, different funds, and working as a trader. I think that some of the information that I would like to share with you is very, very interesting, and I would like to talk about what exactly you can expect in the webinars ahead for the week. So Monday, we start with Mad Money Monday, where we talk about fundamentals and where we're going this week. On Tuesday, we have Tradable Tuesdays, where we talk about pre-market analysis. It's going to be in the second part of the day, 1 hour before the U.S. stock market, and we will talk about different strategies and the way that graphs look and what they show us. We are also going to have a trading game implemented where we interact with the audience a little bit. And now I will answer your questions, just bear with me. On Wednesday, we have Awesome Strategy Wednesdays, where we give you a new strategy to trade. We take, something workable, something that is profitable, and teach you the fine steps, how to understand it, how to tweak it, and of course, how to implement it. And we're also going to do some more market analysis like we did today. Here we have, on Thursday, we have Thick Trend Thursdays. Thursday is usually a very, nice day for movement. Trends are already in place. It's usually a continuation / finalization day, which is the very last wave in the ABCD wave pattern. And we're also going to be reviewing how our students are doing. So on Wednesday, we might give some homework, and on Thursday, we will go over that with you. And also, throughout the week, I will be talking about a limp trade platform. the benefits of using such a system, there are many, and we'll be showing you the platform so that you can understand and feel comfortable using it. And on Friday, we got follow-up Fridays. Now, Thursday and Friday are my favorite days because usually that's when I take profits. That's when we talk about a little bit of the soft skills, you know, like psychology, money management, discipline. They are very, very important pieces of the trader's puzzle. So please bear in mind that Thursday and Friday are really great days to join us on the webinar. And we're going to have a weekly recap. What happened over the week? How much money did we make? How much money did we lose? And also, I'm going to teach you guys how to document your trades so that you have an understanding of how to keep a trade journal, which is, you know, just essential to a trader's success. And we'll give you guys an assignment for the week, which we will go over on Monday. I'm going to have a look at your questions right now, if you have any for me, and answer all of those. All right, perfect. So I will start from the top. Everybody, we already said our hellos to each other. Blessings, blessings. You're asking for some help. You wrote, somebody in Kenya, please help me. I'm not in Kenya, but if I could, I will help you. Sarvesh Kumar. What do you mean by help me? You guys, when you write help me, write right away what it is exactly that you need, because it's very hard, you know, to help you if we don't understand what's going on. So Polly, you can withdraw your money. There will be a withdraw button on your account. I think that technical support will help you answer that question, you know, within an hour. They're very keen on getting back to their clients. Wonderful. You guys, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. You know, when you drop us a like, you help other people discover the content. Everything that we do is free. A lot of people pay a lot of money for the education that you guys will get for free. So anytime you write a positive comment, ask a question, or give us a thumbs up, it goes a long way to make the channel, you know, better for you. Emmanuel, I'll have a look at why the lags were happening. Thank you for your patience with us. How safe is it to trade crypto asset right now, Henry? That's a really good question. Let's have a look at, let's just have a look at the graph of Bitcoin. Let me just pull up Bitcoin. I think it's a great opportunity. Moreover, I'm really keen on watching. Actually, this is a graph that I wanted to talk to you guys about too. Gold is really showing some nice, you know, movement. Guys, please pay attention to this graph. This is gold right here. So we were in a flat all of 2 years. And right now, this positive movement, because of the political risk that we have going on in the world and the unstable situation with the US dollar, gold, crypto assets, the Japanese yen, you know, McDonald's, these things, well, McDonald's is more during a crisis because everybody eats, even during the 2008 financial crisis where stocks plummeted, you know, 20 to 40%. McDonald's rose, even if it was just by like 1.25%. Nonetheless, that 40%, you know, fall did not affect McDonald's. So keep that in mind. And gold is one of the more interesting asset classes to me because I really believe that when difficulties occur in a fiat currency system, you know, that's a paper money currency system that we live in, tangible assets and fungible. Fungible means that you can break it down into small pieces, and gold is a fungible asset. They are very important and very highly valued to world investors. So keep an eye on gold as well. And I wanted to look at Bitcoin with you guys. Even if we look at Bitcoin Gold, okay, here, Ripple or Ethereum. I must have closed Bitcoin by accident. Okay, Ethereum will do good too. I just wanted to show you that the first part, this movement right here, unfortunately I can't show you on this graph, but I can show you here. Our colleagues in the office were really interested to see this. So take a look. We're on a daily graph. This is what happened in 2017 to 2018, right? Huge spike up, a long triangular descent down. Now let's go back a few years. You know, this all looks very similar, at least this part right here. If we can just focus on this graph, look at that. Huge catabolic rise, triangular downshift, we break the triangle, and then we stay at the bottom for a while. Now, it didn't go on for a whole year like it did in 2018, but nonetheless, I wanted to show you guys that, you know, this kind of, look at that, again, catabolic up, parabolic up, down. This cryptocurrency has done this. Look at this. I want to see what year this is. 2014. So 5 years after it was made, parabolic move up, huge spikes down. People are not, you know, they are not aware how much this is worth. And then we break that triangle to the downside, still stay for a flat, even more flat, even more it falls, even more it falls, you know. But the main thing is that when we zoom out, over here, remember how crazy that looked? How bad that was? And then we move up. Parabolic, parabolic, thousands of %. So the main point, even when it was just created, the cryptocurrency, somewhat similar, huge parabolic move up, triangular move to the side. More lower movement, and then a few catalysts, a few things going in the right direction, maybe some things going wrong. Like I said, Bitcoin is going to be a safe haven asset. That's its only role right now, is a storage of value. There's not a lot of utility to Bitcoin right now. So I do think that it's a safe asset, especially if you trade with a limp trade. You are not taking on any risks. You don't take risks of having to keep your key to make sure that, you know, the exchange doesn't go down. A lot of the exchanges are in China. We provide direct access and we take all the risks of whatever the exchanges may have. So you are not, a lot of the risks that you may have if you trade like tangible Bitcoins, what I mean by that is that you actually authorize yourself on an exchange. It's very risky for you. And if you trade cryptocurrency through a limp trade, then you don't have that problem. Sure, Henry. So I hope that helped you. Right now, the situation for me is very calm. I don't see a trade opportunity in or out. Henry, if by the time that I finish questions you want to add which crypto assets you want to go over, that would be fantastic, and we can, you know, look exactly at what you want. As in Bitcoin right now, I see that a lot of interest has left the market. As long as there's no interest, then there's no volatility. If there's no volatility, then there's no money to be made for us as day traders. So let me know what assets you want to go over today. You're finding it difficult to deposit, Emmanuel, huh? Things like that, like about the account, you guys. There are managers who work with this, because these questions I can't really answer for you. Somebody needs to hold your hand and go through the different steps of what's going on. So anything related to the market or the platform, I could help you with. Yeah, today actually the USD stock market is closed. They have a holiday. Martin Luther King, he was a proactive speaker on human rights, and he made a very powerful speech about I have a dream, about living in a world where people are equal. So today the U.S. stock market will be closed, but I really encourage you all to open up the earnings season calendar. Type that into your search bar, earnings season for this week in United States. Just so you know, earnings season starts 2 weeks before the start of the quarter. So earnings season for our quarter, which we're in now, first quarter of 2019, started in December. And it goes on for about 3 or 4 weeks. So now you have an understanding of where you can look for earnings season. 2 weeks before the start of a new quarter, companies publish their financial reports and how much money they made. Yes, you can use Visa and MasterCard. I'm sure they have a electronic payment system. At least I topped on mine with MasterCard. Topped my account up. Binary option global. For binary what? Some networking going on in chat, hey? Some serious networking. So unfortunately, you guys can't share emails and stuff. YouTube chat blocks it, so just keep in mind. Excuse me. So we're just going through questions right now. Seems you guys are more interested in contacting with each other than asking questions. So Cody, that's a good question. I'm assuming you want to draw a trend line here. So you click indicators, and in indicators at the very bottom there's going to be drawing, and here you can draw a horizontal line or a trend line. So again, that button is indicators. This is for Cody. Drawing and trend line, and here you can put start, or you click where you want the start to be, and then you click where you want the finish to be. There you go. That's how you draw a trend line. So Arun, that's a great question about indicators. A lot of the time, I personally don't use indicators just because, after 7 years, you have a certain, understanding of what you're looking at, and too many other lines are distracting. So we will go through so many strategies over the course of the year that you will have more than enough understanding about what kind of indicators to use, what they all do, so on and so forth. So Wednesdays are for strategies. Awesome Strategy Wednesday, and we'll learn and talk about more indicators, strategies, approaches to the market that are effective. Great question, the mind's idea. So cryptocurrencies move mainly by what Bitcoin dictates. So this is the daily graph for Bitcoin. We have a huge breakout and consolidation below a very important resistance point, support point here. And then let's look at Ethereum. Pretty much the same. So to get rid of your trend lines actually is here. So you can't click on them or get rid of them. It would be the X here. So these are futures for Ethereum. Basically, also broke through a very important support line and kind of stayed the same. So a lot of my technical crypto analysis starts with Bitcoin, and then when I invested in cryptocurrencies, I looked for companies that were that had good solid futures. Like, I mean, a future, not futures contracts. So any company that I think would do good or that is in demand with the population of the planet, I think those are good crypto assets. They're just like stocks. But when Bitcoin was doing this nice rise in early 2017, a lot of the speculation that I did through this platform was technical. So a lot of technical analysis, because it's a very new asset class. So it moves like a young trader would. Basically, that's the way we see it. So thank you guys for your time. If you guys have any more questions, please save them for tomorrow's webinar. Like I said, tomorrow's webinar is going to start at 16:30 in Moscow time, so that's GMT plus 3. Excuse me, at 15:30. At 15:30 we have tomorrow's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Birchenko. I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Please give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave your comments below and we will answer you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you all good luck trading out there.